who are not from computer science exactly. So how was their journey learning about the computational thinking? So yeah, it is a very fascinating thing to know for me as well, that what are the reviews of my students. So would love to know that. So somebody asked, Devashish Mishra asked, Unity is better or should we learn from Unreal? So there is a simple answer, there is a very short answer, and there is a very long answer. Short answer is basically that in this curriculum we are covering Unity only. So let's focus on Unity. The long answer is that it doesn't really matter that which platform you start to code with. It actually doesn't matter which language you choose to code with. Whatever you can do on Unity, you can do on Unreal, and whatever you can do on Unreal, pretty much you can do on Unity as well. Okay, so there's no comparisons like that. However, you may find there are some things which are easier to do on one language, similar like Unity, and they're harder to do on other like Unreal, or vice versa, right? Kushal Beth is saying hi, sir, and yeah. Sir, your session was awesome. Yesterday we learned so many things, and today you are going to definitely learn a lot of things, because we are going to dive into the code and going to dive into the practical and the very first introduction of Unity. All right, guys. So I'm going to share this screen and let's start the session anyhow. Let's see. Let's don't care that my laptop gonna survive this or not, because right now there's no electricity in the room from which I am broadcasting. Okay, so let's dive in. And this is my screen. You can probably see this is all of you guys. Right now we have 17, 18, 15 people. We are waiting for other people. So somebody asked, how can I increase video quality? I'm broadcasting at 720 already. Okay, by default the option is 360 frame rate, 360 pixels. I am not sure why you are not getting perfect video quality, because Google Meet is also reducing, having some kind of sort of compression or something. But I checked that I'm using the larger resolution. Okay.
Sorry to barge in, but actually, if you're using a PC, then you have to manually set the receiving
Yeah, that is
to
720. Okay.
720. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, for a better clarity, there is a feature called pin. So if you can pin Aviser's screen so that you will be only visible there.
Yeah, of course. I also check that, but let me send me a snapshot on something on my mobile, so that I can see that what is the quality you are getting right now. Okay, so just do that, and let me just verify that. So quickly send me a snapshot.
Yeah, send it.
Okay, so that I can review that what kind of quality you are getting, and then we are diving in. Okay, so I got message from Kushal. Kushal Bed is an amazing YouTuber. Okay, so yeah, light is back. The video quality is very rubbish. I can totally see. All right, guys. So we got the power back, and hopefully on the higher resolution network, because right now I was using my mobile, and there's a lot of noise. If you're not if you're not talking, then mute yourself. Okay, it will be really really helpful. So maybe I'm going to switch my Wi-Fi now. So I'm going to wait for a minute or so, and then I'll switch to my Wi-Fi, because that will take some time to boot up. Okay, so we'll switch to a faster network, and we'll see. Meanwhile, I'm also checking the settings, that if we can increase this. Right now, speaker is working really fine. Mic is working fine as well. Go into video. It's already, as I said, set it to 720 pixels instead of 360. Yeah, this looks pretty cool as well. So there's nothing left to do for me. It's already the maximum. So I believe it was blurry because I'm using the mobile network. Let me switch back to my Wi-Fi once it's on. So it's right now booting. Till then, if you have any other sort of questions, so we'll definitely do a quick Q&A. Okay. All right, guys. So how many people are aware of Extended Reality Developers of India? I believe we are talking to 200 plus people. All right. but still we have not seen any significant growth, similar growth in the subscription of this page, in the membership of this page. So membership is totally free. The similar communities, there are multiple similar communities right away. Okay, so those communities are charging you a very heavy amount. I cannot name the community, but they are charging you approximately 8 to 10,000 to just be a member of that community. So to get the benefit of networking, to get the benefit of all these things. But this community is made available free for you. And let me also show you the website. So xrdi/in is going to be the website, but that website is right now very shitty. So I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the different website which I'm building right away. So my team is building this website. This is not completely done, but it will be there for you guys, and this will provide you options to search the jobs, provide you options to search the fundings if you are a startup or something. All right, so this is the one hub for XR, and this is going to these are all the workshops and events which we already had. This is the podcast which I host. Okay, uh, and rest of the work is still has to be done. Okay, so yeah, don't go there. So this website is expected to come before you guys end this journey with us. And let me tell you one more thing, that this journey will not end so easy, which means obviously you cannot see anything. Let me switch to something better. Let me check the speed. All right. Yeah. Now this Wi-Fi is faster. And can somebody quickly send me the snapshot? Now is the quality improved? Okay. Yeah. Now it's fine. Now it's fine. All right. Amazing. Can you show website? Okay. Yeah. Sure. I can show website. Uh, yeah. It still has to release. It's not complete yet, but probably you can see. All right. So this is the homepage which we are building. Right now, you'll see a very shitty website again, but this will release by the end of this course. And on this, you're gonna get the basically register yourself functionalities and basic functionalities like finding investor, connecting to investor, networking, registering yourself, and all that sort of functionalities will be there by the end of your webinar. And best part, it's absolutely free for everyone, not just for you guys. It's free for everyone, because we are following a very different we are doing a very different thing. We are not hosting these kind of webinars for money or anything. We are hosting for a bigger purpose, and that is to educate Indians about XR. So what we want to educate about you XR, and why we want to do that, because XR is basically the future of technologies. I mean, right now I'm sitting in front of a laptop and talking to you guys, but soon, by soon I mean in next 5 years, we'll be almost sitting in one single room, and I'll be hosting this webinar, and you'll be in front of me. You can talk to me, interact to me in the most natural way possible. You'll be the part of my room with the help of XR technology. And I'm really hopeful for that future, and I want to see India growing in that future. We want to see India a special place in that future, and that is happening because of all of you guys, and that is not possible without the help of you guys. So if you spread the awareness of community, so the community will grow, and when the community will grow, we'll be able to reach more people. When we'll be able to reach more people, I'll be able to help you guys in much better ways, right? So right now the community has very smaller numbers, but still it's the largest community of India. But I want it to actually reach larger numbers, and for that I'm also offering internships. I'm also offering you guys a lot of things. We'll talk in the last day about that. Okay, so I hope the picture is clear now. I'm waiting for snapshots still. to start the webinar. So please send snapshot so that I can confirm is everything clear or everything. So Kushal, can you send me a snapshot? Can you send me a snapshot, Kushal? All right. Okay. Sushant sent me a WhatsApp and it said it's clear now. Amazing. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, we are good to go. All right, guys. So let's start our journey to the first practical session. And I don't want you guys to follow along. Okay. So I want you guys to see and listen, and this recording will be with you guys, since we have the first recording, first two session recorded. So obviously these next sessions are also going to be recorded. This session is being recorded, so it will stay with you for long, right? So you can, whenever you install Unity, whenever you want to try that, you can totally do that. So for now, my suggestion is going to be, don't follow along and just listen to me and just try to understand the concept, because that are much more important. The tutorials which I'm gonna show you guys are available everywhere, at every place, but the concepts of understanding the XR, understanding the rendering engines, what I'm going to provide you, it's not much available at a lot of places. A lot of people are not even that capable to make you understand in that perspective of rendering engines and all those things. So let's without any further delay, like dive to the very first session which we did. Okay. So let me come back to, this is the most important slide of our webinar. Okay, so what is today's target? Let's focus on that. So according to this, today is the third day, and the target is game engines. Okay, so we are going to take a look at introduction to the Unity and basics of Unity. So far, what we have covered the course introduction, AR, VR, MR, XR introduction, industry introduction, XR use cases, computational thinking, rendering pipelines, and so much many more stuff. And I hope you understand the basics of all those stuff. And I'm right now covering whatever the targets are. So today's target is going to be understanding Unity, and we are going to take a look at basics, because there are people, even if I talk about me, so I'm working with Unity and all these game engines for last 7+ years. So it and still I'm learning something. Okay, so it's going to take you a lot of time, a lot of effort to learn it fully, or maybe learn it very well. But I'm going to give you a way to start it, so that I'm going to play as a catalyst, so that you can basically start learning faster. Okay, so I made a video for you guys specifically. Okay, so if I go to YouTube and if I type simply XRDI, all right, so if you haven't subscribed this channel, please do so, because without numbers we are nothing, and we definitely requires numbers. Okay, so I have shared the link on the Slack channel as well with you guys, but this is the video which I made. This basically will help you understand how to install Unity. So this is the installation guide for Unity, and this is the fastest way to install Unity, which I could cover. Okay, video quality. Okay, no issues. Let's begin. So you can, I'm going to share the link with the Slack, and I have already shared that, so you can follow along. And there's a lot of disturbance, so let me turn off this. Okay, so you can follow along this video and install Unity, how to install Unity. So Unity is a game engine I have already installed for you guys. So let's open Unity. So there are two options, Unity and Unity Hub. So let's open Unity Hub. All right, so bear with me, and we are going to do something. We are going to basically take the understanding of Unity, that how things work in Unity. Okay, so there's a first project which I have already created, and if you are following along that video, you will know that what is the first project. This is a very complete and completely empty project, and yeah, we are going to start with this. So somebody's saying it's blur. All right, let me just check the internet speed. Yeah, internet speed is fine. It should not be blurred. It sufficient speed. I'm not sure. Maybe your speed is on the speed on your end is decreasing for some reason, and maybe that could be one issue. All right. So let's not blame that. And yeah, so Unity has started. So whenever you will install Unity, start your first page, start your first project, create first project, and then hit enter. Till that moment, everything is covered in the tutorial which you want to follow along. And now I'm going to give you the introduction of Unity. So the first thing you need to know about is what are all these components, what are all these scenes. So first, let me thanks Unity for enabling us this dark theme, because all the programmers, all the developers love this dark theme, and they made it available even in the free version since this version, Unity 2020. So in Unity 2020.1.4, the Unity dark theme is available for free, which means you will be able to see similar editor. In case you install Unity and you don't see a similar editor, so go on here. This is the first thing where you need to go on and click on 2 by 3. All right. So when you will click on 2 by 3, you will get something like this. Okay. This is my personal preference, but I want to see the console logs as well. Console logs are basically the messages which you throw from the code, and you should be able to check that. Okay, so go on window, and there are a lot of windows in Unity. So we'll basically these are general windows. Okay, so here you'll find control console, and or you can also tap Control Shift C. But yeah, so this will give you a console window. And in Unity, every window is dockable, which means I can dock this anywhere. Dock means I can attach this everywhere, or I can even disattach this. So this can attach here, this can attach here. Okay, all right. This can attach to anywhere, but I'll for this purpose I prefer this to be here. So here are all my consoles, which means whatever the program I'll write, what suppose hello world, so the output will shown here. Okay, all right. Simpler, the code level output, the text output will be uh, seen here. Okay. So let's see what is this. This is called hierarchy. All right, and hierarchy means what are the components are in your scene. Okay, hierarchy means so in your scene there are some components. For example, there is main camera. So this is a camera. What is a camera? We'll go over that. And this is a direction light. Okay, so hierarchy means what are the components available there in your scene. All right. What is a scene? Scene is basically the setup. If I suppose delete this and delete, hit delete, then there's nothing available in my scene. And there's scene means a composition. In an editor, you also use video editors. There's also the name called composition, and they are simply the same name, same thing, same concept, which means whatever you put in there, you have that and you can play along with that object. And if something is not there in this hierarchy, in this window, then you are not able to basically use that component in your game, right? Okay, so this is a very simple concept. All right, cool. Somebody wants to say something? Okay, no issues. Next, move on to what is this window. So this window is basically the scene. All right, scene means basically here are scene means the control panel. You can say that this is the my control panel. I can select objects here, and I can move the objects here. And basically, you have to set up your scene using this window. So this window is going to be very helpful to arrange your scene. All right. So this window will help you. So if you right click and move your mouse, so you can pan around this scene. And if you left click and move, then you can pan in this way, pan with position, right? This is pan with rotation. These both are pan. Okay. All right. So simple, let's go over simple controls of how you're gonna manipulate the object. So let's create an object in the scene. So let's right click on this, go on 3D object and create. around this scene. Okay, nothing is happening. It looks like the cube is moving, but cube is not moving. Your perspective of looking at the scene is moving. So as you can see in this window, the cube is making no motion. All right, so this is q. Then there is this w. All right, so whatever the scene is selected from here, so suppose if I select something else, then w will work on w-e-r will work on something else. But this is basically the first top window of your alphabetical keyboard, QWERTY keyboard. Okay, so w means a position. So when I move using these handles, all right, so the position will move. And there is also the component called transform. I'll come back to this. Right now I'm just giving you introduction to this window. So now you can see in the down side, so this is the output of your rendering engine, right? So Unity is a rendering engine and physics engine and VFX engine. You can call it multiple names. All right, so whatever the motion you are doing, whatever the changes you are doing in your scene setup, you are seeing the final outcome immediately. You don't have to write any code to see that in the editor. All right, in this game section. So how the game section is rendering this? The idea is they have something called a virtual camera, which is also in this case the main camera component. This is nothing but a simple space, simple point in your scene, and from this simple point you can see there are some lines coming out from this point. Okay, so whatever the objects are there in front of these lines, so whatever the objects are available in front of these lines, and these lines are known as frustum. Okay, we call it a frustum. Camera as a frustum. Okay, so whatever the lines are there in the perspective of these lines, that is visible. Suppose if I try to move, then you can see the cube moving, but actually cube is not moving in the window. The camera is moving. If I put the camera down, the cube is going up opposite. All right, so this is called main camera. So whatever the object you will select, you have some sort of controls: q, w, e, and r. So what does e do? E gives you rotation. So here are the axes. You can see the rotation. You are rotating the cube. All right, so here also you can see the output of rotation. Is that clear? All right, so you can rotate it in 3 axes: x, y, and z. So this is the basic idea. All right, and what the r will do? R will okay. So this is a big concept. Let's try to understand it. So in any game engine, there are only share option, but share is also one standard option which you standard operation which you can basically perform. So what are these? Translate means you can move the object in 3 axes. All right, if it's a 3D object, you can move in 3 axes. It's a 3D game, right? Second axis and third axis. Sorry, this is the third axis, right? So we can move, rotate, and scale. So far clear? So in Unity, you can do these 3 things with any object, these 3 operations with any object. As you can see, this is the camera icon. All right, so there is no such thing as a camera. Okay, camera is basically a point, but to represent that point, we are showing this camera icon, right? Like you represent a file with a JPG icon or something, you are representing the camera with this camera icon. All right, so camera is a very small point, but we are representing that point with the icon. This is at the default of Unity. Okay, all right, so we understand hierarchy, scene, and game. Now let's come to the other objects. Like there is this asset. What is asset? Asset is basically the amount of things what you want to use in your project, right? For example, you can create a folder, all right, and name is script. Okay, and you can also show in Explorer. So this is actually a physical folder. This is nothing but a physical folder sitting in the assets folder. All right. So you can actually see the scripts in there. Scripts is created in there, and we can also create a simple script, for example. So create C# script, and let's name this C# script called move. Okay, simple. So again, show in Explorer. So this is a file. This is a file created in the scripts folder. Okay, so whatever the files you want to use in Unity, you can either drag from the outside. So suppose if I try to drag an file in this, so go in downloads. All right, so here I have multiple posters of my events. So we had multiple events. So let's try to create all right, a folder. Let's name it texture. Okay, so here in the texture, let me drag all these textures. Okay, why not? So Unity is importing them. Import means they have basically some sort of settings to understand this file. So they are trying to understand that file, and now you can see it's automatically copied in the textured folder. In the texture folder, these files are copied. A copy of these files are created. For example, if I go to some different viewing option, if I go to suppose thumbnail, how do I go to thumbnail? I'm a very noob with the Windows system. Extra large options. Okay, so you can see these are the same files. All right, so these are same files copied here, but there is one more file being created, which is called meta file. So Unity create this meta file, and this meta file is basically the linking between the file and the way Unity expect the file to be. Okay, Unity does not expect the file to be like this. Unity expect the file to be like this. So you can see a different information window is being created by Unity, and this is basically saved in the meta file. This all the information, whatever you are seeing here, the metadata about the file. Meta means data about the data is metadata. So these are meta files. All right. So far so clear. We understand what is the project window, what is the asset folder. All right, now we can move on to the inspector panel, the most important. So as I already said, let's support something. Let's create something. Okay, if I try to create something, I delete this queue. Okay, let me create something simplest object possible in Unity. And what is the simplest object possible in Unity? An empty project. So right now this project is not even visible. This object is not even visible. There is no object, but still you can click and see that at what point that invisible object exists. Okay, so since we don't have anything in this object, but still we can see. Okay, so let's see what are the let's break it down. Let's break down a simplest object of Unity. So what it have? So it has a transform component. The simplest object of the Unity has a transform component, and any other object is basically a layer upon this transform component. And so why this transform component is there, I'll definitely explain when I'll talk about scripting. Okay, and how to use that. Okay, but here this is called inspector. You can see information about this object. So in hierarchy you can see as basically the symbol and the name of the object which is there in the scene. Okay, but in here you can see all the information related to the selected object. So right now the selected object is directional line, but you can select this and you can see all the information related to this. What are the information? That this object is sitting at position. This is this three-dimensional position. Rotation is this, and scale is this. All right. So let's move the position. What is happening in the in this window when I'm moving the object? The answer is it's moving in the x-axis because I'm shifting the x value. So you can basically tap here, and or you can also do your own values, or you can see type 5 plus 1. You can do simple mathematical calculation, so it will become 6. All right, so all these things. Similarly, we can also move in y direction. So it's moving in up or down y direction. In Unity, the y is up or down. All right. And the z is ahead or in front of or back. All right, ahead or back. You got it? So these are the 3 dimensions of Unity, and we'll play around these 3 dimensions only. So by the simplest object has this, means each and every object must have at least this property, which is the transform property. All right, transform means basically what position if you want to create object. So Unity want to know that at what position you want to create the object. Okay, so we are also going to talk
Sir,
about.
the screen is not clear. Like now all of us are like texting in the chat box. We are not able to see it clearly.
All right. Can we interact by unmuting in YouTube? Okay. I think this my speed is really fast, but I think the Google Meet is doing some nasty compressions. Speed is very good. As you can see, it's much more than even at 5 Mbps you can do much capable streaming. But I don't know.
It's not that actually the sender's internet, it should also be the receiver's internet that should be fast. So
That
I
could
would
be the
suggest
reason.
if you can sit in a location where you can get a higher speed, then I think it will not be blurred. Or if you can just see in the setting, you have to change the receiver setting to 720p.
Yeah, make sure the receiver setting is not 360p. Okay, uh, so that you can see my screen clear. All right. Yeah. Rishabh said done. Okay, all right, amazing. Both are 720p, amazing. Okay, so let's try to see, and also I'll be providing the video in on the YouTube channel. So in that you will be able to definitely see it very clear, because that is recording in 4K. Okay, so that should not be an issue. All right, no issues. Okay, so now let's move on to something like scripting. Okay, let's create that simple object. एक empty object बना लेते हैं. All right, and empty object में इतना मजा नहीं आएगा, तो इसके अंदर हम एक simple सा कुछ भी object डाल देते हैं. Suppose एक photo डाल देते हैं इसके अंदर. Okay, but photo is in form of texture. So suppose we create a cube instead of this empty object. If we create a cube, suppose create a cube. All right, a cube is created. So suppose also let's dissect before going to the scripting, that what are the components. So to represent, do you remember the session from the last time where I basically explained you guys that what is a mesh and how the meshes work? All right, you have to define basically a few amount of points, and using that points a rendering engine know that what to draw. Here you can see something is being drawn. Okay, so we are going to talk about something sometime here. All right, that how this thing is being drawn, how there is a cube sitting there. All right, so yeah, let's dive in. So you can see there is something called mesh filter, and you might have heard of the vertex processing unit. Okay, so there the first part of rendering pipeline was vertex processor, and this mesh filter is actually acting like a vertex processor. Okay, so this is basically taking the input as a mesh, and it's basically checking that how many vertices are there, how many faces are there, and all those stuff. So this is the right now, if you can see, this is the simplest mesh already. This is known as the primitives of Unity, which means there are a few meshes which Unity provide by itself. Cube is one of them. Okay, so this is visible here, and you can see there are some lines going. If it is very thinner, and I'm not sure you will be able to see this small diversion here or not, but it's there, but it's not visible here. Okay, so since it is a mesh, it's basically telling you how many triangles are there, or you can also say this is a wireframe. Okay, if I turn off the wireframe, the line is gone. Okay, so wireframe means it will show how many triangles are in the mesh. In a usual mesh there are 24 vertices. Okay, and there are similar I don't want to dive into that as well, because you don't require that right now. Okay, we'll definitely talk about that. Okay, so now there is something called mesh renderer. Apart from mesh filter, which is a Vertex processor, there is something called mesh renderer, and mesh renderer is basically acting as a fragment processor. So there are, in any shader language, there are two sort of processors, Vertex and the fragment processing. And this is the basically, this is the you can say this is basically the interface where you provide the inputs for Vertex for fragment processor. Okay, so let's create a simple material. Let's create a folder. All right, इसके अंदर हम create करेंगे, in this folder we'll create a material. Let's create something called material. So you'll find this here is something called material. Okay, let's name it M1. All right, means material 1. Okay, let me replace this default material, which means you cannot edit this. This is provided by Unity, to your own material. Now this is provided by you. All right, since this is provided by you, you can change its setting. Let me try to change that. I'll try to provide something called an albedo. What is an albedo? Albedo is basically a texture. So we are going to provide a texture. All right, so you can see here texture is there. So this is the course which we are happening, which is computational thinking and introduction to XR. And the cube takes the shape of this image, and this image is basically wrapped around. All right, this image is wrapped around through all the directions. Okay, all right, let's dive into the scripting of the basics of scripting. Okay, so let's save Control S. So it is very important to save the scene regularly. All right, so we are going to write our hello world. So this is the script which we created, and the name is move. Okay, so double tap on that and it will open on Visual Studio. All right, so now here is our script. There are some these are some libraries, as you may already know. In C as well, you need to import some libraries to for the functions to work. Okay, so in here as well, these libraries are by default imported, and you don't have to change anything here for now. Okay, in case you suppose want some functionality, like you want to work with UI, then you can write code like Unity engine .ui. All right, so that UI related functionalities will be imported in your code, but right now we don't need that. Okay, so Unity has created a few functions for us for free, and that functions are start and update. All right, and this class is already inheriting from mono behavior. All right, so now let's talk about mono behavior. What is a mono behavior? It's a very theoretical thing, and let's dive into that. So mono behavior is basically a class from Unity, and it's a class created from Unity engine. And this is basically going to give you all the updates, all the it's going to give you all the information that what is happening in the scenario with your object. Okay, it's going to provide you the information that when the application is running and when the application is stopped. Okay, and it's going to provide you information like is your cube being touched or not. It's going to provide you information about that how many frames are passed. It's going to provide you information about is your cube rendering or not. Means it's going to at whatever object you attach the mono behavior, and by default Unity attach the mono behavior. There are cases in which we don't use mono behavior. There are some cases, and what are those cases? That is not part of this session. Okay, so mono behavior is basically for now the basics of any object. Okay, so if you want any object to exist, even the transform component, there is a transform component, and that transform component is embedded in that mono behavior. So suppose if you want that transform component, want to access that transform component, that is only possible if you have the mono behavior attached on your script. Okay, if your script is inherited from mono behavior. So right now Unity has provided us two functions, start and update. Okay, let's know about these functions, and I'm going to delete that. Okay, so I'm going to write my own function. So void, all right, start. Okay. So what is start function and when it fires? Let's check out. So debug. So how do we check in Unity? Debug dot log dot. There are three important kind of log. Either you can say debug dot log dot console. So sorry, debug dot log dot print and log. How can I forget that? Debug dot log. That's it. Okay. Dot log, and then you pass the message. So for example, debug.log, and then you pass the message. All right. So suppose pass other message, the script is working, or simply hello world. Okay. So this is the very first code which we are writing in this Unity. I'm a big fan of hello world. So let's try to run that. What will happen, how you run the program in Unity? So the idea is you save the script, you go back to here, and when you run this, nothing will happen. All right. So this is a play button in this Unity. This is a play button. And can anyone tell me why there's nothing happening? All right. So yeah, there are a lot of experts as well, like Kushal Bed is there, Shushant is there. Shushant is someone who's conducting his own workshops as well. So why the script is not working right now? Not attached. Perfect. Kushal Bed said not attached, and he is totally correct. All right. So for the script to be able to work, we have to attach this script to our object. Otherwise, how the script will know that for what object it has to perform, right? So to how many objects I'm going to attach this, I can attach it to multiple objects, and it will perform on behalf of multiple objects, right? So right now it's going to perform on behalf of this cube object. Okay, so whatever we'll make, whatever the changes we are going to make in this script, that will represent to the cube object and not the other objects. Okay, so we have attached. So attaching means dragging and dropping. You can drag drop here, you can drag and drop on the object, that is fine. Or one more way, you can select and here and right move. Okay, so you can search the component and add that. All right, so simply we have added a component. All these options are component, and these can be removed. So I can, if I want, I can also remove this component or reattach this component. We have the option. All right, so yeah, this is fine. So now let's try to run and let's see what will happen. All right, we got something here, something white message here, and the message is saying hello world. Okay, so means our program worked. We made our first program in the 40 minutes of conversation. Okay, so it doesn't take this much, but yeah, let's clap for us. Okay, so hopefully now we understand the entire, all the windows, how to import, how to run program. This far is clear. What is mono behavior? This far is clear. Okay, so but we are still going to explore the mono behavior more. Okay. Let's suppose I create something called a variable public int value. All right, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to print a lot of logs. Okay, void void awake. There's a function called awake. Okay, debug.log, and let me call it like awake. All right, and what we'll do, we'll basically print the value. So for printing the value, let's write plus sign and give a space here. Let's write plus sign and write value. Okay, so you can follow along after watching the video and all those. It's a very complete, but right now let's do this, and after that we'll increment the value to make some to test something. Okay, all right, so after that I have incremented the value. All right, now at this point let's write start. All right, and now we are going to what we are going to do, we are going to write the value and make the value plus plus. All right, And there is one more function which I'm going to talk about, which is enable. Void on enable. All right, and the same code here. All right, so we have pasted some code and we are going to run this. So what will happen? We are going to basically get the sequence that when which code is going to fire. So let's play this. We have 3 logs. Okay, we have how many logs? 3 logs. First, what is called? First, we have awake, because the value is 0. Because the value is still 0. By default, we have assigned no value, which means the value is 0. Okay. Then what fired? This awake fired, and it's saying that value is 0. Awake. What is awake saying? Awake saying value is 0. And next, what function is fired next? Next function fired is on enable. All right. So first awake will call, then on enable will call. Okay. And now the value is incremented to 1, so it will print 1, and then incremented, then also fire. Okay. So it doesn't matter at what sequence you write the code. Okay. You can see here I have written start first and on enable later, but on enable is firing first and the start is firing later. Okay. So it doesn't matter at what sequence you write the code, at least apart from functions. Okay, they will fire basically when the function calls, and the function is being who is controlling that, who has the power that which function will call when. Okay, the mono behavior is basically guiding then when awake should call, when start should call, and when on enable should call. So mono behavior is basically sending some sort of messages inside this script. Okay, all right, object number cube. Okay, object which name is cube. Right now it's awaken. Okay, so it's calling something like this. Okay, right now it's enable. Right now it's start. Okay, so that's how it's working. Now let's make the test further, and here is a small checkbox which is called enable checkbox, and we can disable this. Okay, we can disable this, and after whenever we restart this, there is one more message. Okay, there's one more message after this, and what this message is saying, this message is basically saying that enable equal to 3, and we can turn off again and turn on again, turn off again, turn on again, turn off again, turn on again. All right, so there are 3 functions, but the 3 functions which are absolutely the same, and almost the meaning of the functions are same. It means basically the scene has started, the game has started. This is the information the function is passing, but in a different way. All right, so on enable, so every time the object gets enabled, so right now it's disabled, but now it's going to get enabled. As soon as function get enabled, the value is there. All right, so on enable is called multiple times, but awake and start is going to call only once. All right, so this is clear. So suppose if there is any functionality which need to be triggered every time the object is getting enabled, you have to put it in on enable. All right, so I hope again this is clear. So we got this far. Now let's deal with the other functions. All right, so what are the other functions? Void, and the function name is update. Okay? It's not like you have to remember the function's name. Eventually you will be using these functions so much that you have to you will get it intuitively. Okay, so this is right now update function is being called. Let's check out how the update function is being called. Let me copy these 2 scripts and paste it here, and let's write that I'm calling from update. Okay, from where I'm calling from update. All right, okay, so let's hit play and let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Can anyone tell me what is happening right now? So you can see the output is coming, and you can see this bar is going on and on and on and on. All right, so let's clear this and play again. Okay, you can see the number increasing till 1000, 2000. All right, so what is happening here? Can anyone tell me what is happening? Somebody said loop, never ending loop. Kushal Beth said loop. Sabah said infinite loop. It's loop infinitely. So whoever is saying it's loop, and everybody is saying loop, but all of the people who are saying loop, and means all of you, are wrong. It's not a loop. Kushal is also wrong. I'm sorry, but you guys are wrong, and this is not a loop. So let's understand what is this. All right. Update. What does update mean? All right. Update means, okay, now it's time to update. Okay, so because all the messages, all the functions from mono behavior, these are some sort of messages to your script. Okay, these are telling something you about the scene. These message, suppose start message is telling that, okay, now I'm available to be used, and now the scene has started. Okay, similarly, update, what update is telling you? Update is telling you the render cycle has complete. What update is telling you? The render cycle has complete. Or it is also telling you, also telling you that it's time to be prepared for render cycle. Okay, you don't understand this, but let's try to understand this this way. Okay, yesterday we talked about video, right? That there's something called video, and there's no such thing called video. There are actually images being captured, images are being collected, and images are being captured, and it's like a flip book, and we flip it so fast that it looks like a video. All right, so game also plays videos. Okay, game plays videos even so fast that there are 4K right now and 120 fps. Okay, so recently nvidia 3070 is playing 4K at 120 fps. Okay, which is too much pixels at too faster rate. Okay, so what is 120 fps means? 120 fps means basically the camera, here is your camera, and this camera is clicking pictures. Okay, and how fast this is clicking pictures? 120 pictures per second. All right, so now I'm going to do an experiment with you guys. I'm going to show you what do I mean by that. Okay, so here is a pause button. I don't know how many developers has used this pause button, but let me press that and play the same game without changing any code. Let's hit it again. All right, what happened? It's saying update 1. All right, if you click at this stats, what is telling you? This is telling you that I can run basically 2349 frames per second. I can run, but it does not mean that I'm running. For example, if I have to change this, this is not a correct way to do it, but let me show you. So suppose if I click next, what will happen? What you think will happen? The answer is one more update call will be sent. Okay, so now what the update value is 2. Okay, now what the update value is 3. So every time I'm clicking this, update is being sent. Now I'm controlling the update. Now I'm controlling your loop, but actually this is not the loop. I'm controlling at what speed the camera is taking picture. So why this is a pause button? Okay, because I can stop the camera to take picture. Okay, right now camera is taking picture very fast. All right, but I can stop camera. So now camera is stopped after 232 frames. Now the camera is stopped, and I can move and click one more picture. So click one more picture, click one more picture. So now it's 34. Click one more picture, now it's 35. Okay, so update is basically the message. Okay, update, this is the very important line which I'm going to say. Update is basically the message from the Unity to you that, okay, I'm going to update, and now move your object, and I'll then click the shutter of the camera. Okay, so how you click photos? Suppose there is an object and there is your camera, suppose, And if the object, suppose if you click up a photo, okay, then you capture the object and now the object is moved. Does your photo going to reflect that? No. You have to click one more photo and then it will reflect the change. Okay, so update is basically telling you, okay, now it's time to move your object, so that I'm going to click photo. Before I click photo, you just move the object. Okay, so update is basically telling you the message that make your changes, because I'm going to click a photo. Okay, so update is the message that I'm going to take a photo. All right, there is also something called late update. There is a function called void late update. All right, I'm going to place the same code in this and let's see what happens. How many know the basically what is update late update? There are a lot of people working in the there are a lot of professional developers, and there are a lot of people who are basically working in this field, but they don't necessarily understand the meaning of these functions. So you are going to understand this from your very first class, and this is a privilege. Okay, so since these kind of course does not exist and there's no way basically to tell you that how to basically do this, and even me and even a lot of people in the industry learn these skills intuitively or by themselves. We all are self-taught. There are plenty of developers, hardworking, super hardworking, who are self-taught, but you are getting privileged to learn it and take advantage of that. Okay, so yeah, so there is update and there is late update. Okay, so one thing to notice is start is called first. This is why start has the value 0. Update is called second, but late update is called after the update. Okay, this is very common that late update is called after the update, but let's see what will happen. Okay, so when I'll press this button, what happened? Again update is called and again late update is called. Now what happened? Update is called and late update is called. Okay, so let me tell you what is happening here. So make one more snapshot. Now I made one more snapshot. Okay, so update is basically called, update is before taking the picture and late update is after taking the picture. Okay, so suppose you have a camera and like Unity is giving you the message that I'm going to take a photo and make sure you smile, make sure पेट वेट अंदर कर लो, ठीक है? तो you make the changes and then it clicks a photo, and after when it's get the perfect shot, when it basically has taken the photo, it basically tells you that now I have taken the photo and now the process is done, now you are free. Okay, so update message is the alert that I'm going to take the photo, and the late update is I have taken the photo and my job is done. Okay, so this is happening at one frame. Okay, but games does not run by one frame. Game work in 1 second. There are 60 frames. So suppose if I stop the pause, if I tell Unity, okay, जैसा मन करना है फोटो ले ले, ठीक है, तो वो अपने आप से तेजी से फोटो लेने लगेगा. Okay, again you can see it started clicking photos at his speed. You can also control this frame rate and all those things, but this is again not the part of this course which we are doing. So yeah, I'm not going to go over that. Okay, so let's do what Unity is suggesting us. Let's make some changes in the update. Okay, so update function, as you know, update is basically telling you that भाई पेट वेट अंदर कर ले, मैं फोटो लूंगा, तो कुछ चेंज करो, और क्योंकि मैं फोटो लेने वाला हूँ, whatever you gonna change, the change will be reflected in the photo. What is a photo? What the frame? Okay, so let's make the changes. Okay, in the photo. So suppose, how do you make the change? Right now I'm going to make the changes in the transform. What is transform? The position of the object. Okay, so suppose transform. So remember this component transform. So I'm accessing this. Okay, transform dot position. Okay, plus equal to, okay, एक कोई छोटा सा वैल्यू डाल देता हूं. Transform dot position, suppose equal to, suppose ये करता हूं, transform dot position plus new, like new vector 3. ओके, सो ये पोजीशन जो है ये वेक्टर 3 में लेगा, एंड इसमें मैं एक छोटा वैल्यू डालता हूँ 0.0, जितना भी छोटा वैल्यू डालो ये एक बहुत गंदा इफेक्ट देगा, 0.1/0, ओके। सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दिस लाइन, इसको यहाँ पे एक f चाहिए, okay? Not the F word, just F. Okay. So let's understand this line. मैं कह रहा हूँ भाई ट्रांसफॉर्म की जो भी पोजीशन है उसको ये ऑपरेटर तो आपको पता है ये इंक्रीमेंट ऑपरेटर है, प्लस प्लस, ओके, प्लस इक्वल टू, उसको इंक्रीमेंट कर दो, ठीक है, प्लस इक्वल टू, सॉरी यहाँ पे इक्वल टू रहेगा वरना ये डबल इंक्रीमेंट हो जाएगा, सॉरी, ओके। सो ट्रांसफॉर्म की जो भी पोजीशन है वो क्या हो जाएगी, ट्रांसफॉर्म की पोजीशन यानी मेरी जो भी पोजीशन है वो मेरी पोजीशन प्लस थोड़ा सा और ऑफसेट, कितना ऑफसेट, 0.001, ये एक बहुत छोटा सा ऑफसेट है जो इसमें ऐड होगा, ओके। सो लेट्स सी व्हाट इज द रिजल्ट, ओके। सो हम दो तरीके से इसका रिजल्ट देखेंगे, एक पॉज करके और एक दूसरा बिना पॉज करे, ऑलराइट। सो लेट्स हिट प्ले, ओके। क्या कोई रिजल्ट दिखाई दिया, नहीं, ऑलराइट। सो लेट्स click on this, you can see the movement, can you see? So let's click, zoom this, you can see here is your cube, and you can see it's shifting a very little. So I think let me make this a little more significant so then you can see the changes perfectly, or suppose make a lot of yeah, this is fine, okay. 0.1, 0.001 is too small, okay. So let's it's already on pause, all right, it was not on pause, ये भाग गया, ठीक है, इसको हम भागने नहीं देंगे, हमने पॉज कर दिया इसको, all right. So let's hit update, what will happen, okay, it shifted. Let's again click next update, what will happen, shifted again, shifted again, shifted, same. So what is happening here, Unity is telling you, okay, I'm going to take a picture, what you want to do, and you are telling Unity, I want to make my cube shift, okay. So how much you want to shift, you want to shift 0.1, okay. So this is what happening, Unity is telling you, I am going to make an update, what you want to do, you are going to say that shift, so Unity say okay, low shift, okay, then again repeat the process, shift. But simply that's not how you can play the game, okay, because what will happen if you are not on the pause, let me show you. So when you release the pause, the cube will fly away, all right, because it's doing nothing but just moving the cube infinitely, because at each, before taking each photo, Unity is gonna ask you that what you want to do, you gonna say that by shift, okay, by shift, तुम और कुछ कर ही नहीं रहे हो, okay. So you are doing nothing else but shift, so it's going to be shift for infinite amount of time, and it's going, and you can call him bye bye or whatever you want to say, okay. So yeah, that's fine, all right. So far so good, we understood this far. All right, so we understood the position. Now let's see how to put the control on this position. So I don't want this to go infinitely, I want this to go in a complete, in a controlled way. I want to control this cube, okay. क्योंकि आपके गेम में अगर कुछ चीजें अपने आप होती जा रही हैं, मतलब बंदे मरते ही जा रहे हैं, गोलियां चलती जा रही हैं, हवाएं उड़ती जा रही हैं, तो the game is not fun anymore, right? So you have to have some sort of control to make it a game, right? So let's see how you're gonna make that control, all right. So let's add if input dot get key down, or yeah, get key down, and which key you want to key down. Suppose if you want to key down key code dot arrow, all right. So suppose left arrow, all right. अगर हम लेफ्ट एरो दबाएं तो ये क्या हो, अभी ये कहाँ पे जा रहा था, अभी ये प्लस डायरेक्शन यानी कि राइट डायरेक्शन होता है, अभी हम प्लस कर रहे हैं तो यानी ये राइट डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है, ठीक है. लेट्स कॉपी एंड पेस्ट द कोड, राइट. अगर हम राइट एरो दबाएं, राइट, तो ये कहाँ पे जा रहा है, तो ये हम है माइनस डायरेक्शन में, सॉरी लेफ्ट एरो पे ये माइनस में जाए और राइट में प्लस पे जाए. ऑलराइट, दिस इज फाइन सो फार. And also, since we are doing this, let's write for the other axis as well. So this is for horizontal movement. All right, and this is for vertical movement. ठीक है, वर्टिकल के लिए हम ये पूरा कॉपी कर लेते हैं. एंड क्योंकि आपको तो पता ही है, प्रोग्रामर्स तो ये होते हैं बस कॉपी पेस्ट करते हैं और तो कुछ करते नहीं हम लोग. ठीक है, तो ये जाएगा अप एरो. ऑलराइट, और ये जाएगा डाउन एरो. गॉट इट. बट अगर आप इसमें भी x मूवमेंट पे एक्सेस करोगे, इफ यू आर स्टिल मूविंग इन द x डायरेक्शन, सो यू हैव टू मेक श्योर यू आर नॉट मूविंग इन द x डायरेक्शन, you are making in the motion in the y direction instead of x. So let's copy that. Okay, cut from here, so make 0 here and make this here, and again similarly. Okay, all right, make minus here because this is down, so you have to go y minus, y down. Got it? And make it a 0. So for vertical in y direction we are making the changes. This is x, y and z are the inputs for this function. All right, now what I'm going to do, make one more function. All right, and I'm gonna name it suppose front or back, horizontal, vertical and ahead. Suppose, I don't know what is the dimension, by the way. Not sure. Okay, for this you have to make changes in which direction. But again, what key to use, because two-dimensional keys are filled, so I'm going to use some other key. All right, so let's suppose in this I want to go minus, and in the other one I want to go plus. So let's make it 0 here, 0. Yeah, that's fine, totally fine. In the z direction, in the x direction, in the y direction. All right, hold on. Okay, this is so far so good, but I'm missing something. Yeah, I'm missing this key code change. So suppose I select what are the up and down keys, alternate up and. So suppose if I press enter, keypad enter. Okay, then it will go ahead, and if I press the right shift, okay, then it will go backward. All right, because these are performing, these are oriented at the correct position, right? Okay, so now let's save this code and see what happened. Okay, in one bracket is missing in each. All right. Yeah, perfect. One bracket is missing, so there were a lot of error. So error से कभी मत घबराओ, try to figure out कि क्या problem आ रही है. Right. So to tackle error, what my suggestion is, take a look at the first error, because when you solve the first error, because of that, rest of the errors are there, and now it is completely, all the errors are fixed. All right. So let's hit the cube. All right. Right now it must be in pause mode. No, it was not in pause mode. But you can see now cube is not going anywhere because you have added the restrictions. You have added the control. Okay. Now I'm going to make the motion. I tap left and it's moving left. Okay. I tap right, means right arrow. It's moving right. I can make it go up using up arrow. I can make it go right, down using down arrow. All right. I can make it go ahead. All right. Left shift was not a very good idea because that is a hotkey. Hotkey, you know what is hotkey? Hotkey is taking input. So let me change that to suppose W. Okay, W and S. All right. So that is much more easier. But the idea is that the code is working. All right. So when I press that, all right, it's going in X and Y direction. Okay. And again, here is some problem because when I'm pressing W, it's going downward. for some reason. Because what is the reason? Because we have written this code in the x-axis. What we have to, where we have to put it in the z-axis. Then it will be corrected. All right, fixed, done. Foo. Right. So this is so far the introduction of Unity. All right. And definitely you have to create, if you have to create entire game, entire GTA, there are a lot of efforts which need to be put it in a game. It takes a journey to create huge games and all those, but it is definitely a very great place to start. And we basically know how to control a cube in all three directions. Okay. All right. So far now, this is your session, and I hope you understood the basics of how a rendering engine works, what is update, what is late update, and all those things. If you have any sort of question, please feel free to ask. You can view the error in the console window. Yes, you can. So if there is any error, suppose if I make some garbage, suppose if I do this and save it, I go back and you'll see the error. And if you double tap that, it will take you to the error and it will say, "Ye kya kar raha hai bhai?" तो तुम उसको हटा दो वहां से, okay? Fix कर दो and go back, and it will recompile, and the error is gone. All right, perfectly said, Himanshu. Priyanshu. Okay, so do you guys have any other question? Search changed the platform to YouTube again. Many people are left today. Okay, all right. I'm sure the organizers are going to provide the video on the YouTube itself. Okay, so whoever is left shall join. If we want to learn Unity, from where we have to do it, यार मैं काफी बार बता चुका हूँ कि मेरा एक channel है XRDI करके, and also let me show you why I created XRDI, because what happens is, आप लोग पॉलिटिशियंस को जानते हो, आप लोग एक्टर्स को भी जानते हो, आप लोगों को पता है कि सलमान खान के फेवरेट शूज कौन से होंगे, आप लोगों को पता है कि ये सारी चीजें, बट देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु आर पुटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स इन मेकिंग इंडिया बेटर, इन मेकिंग थिंग्स बेटर, creating better products for the country, and raising the name of the country. Okay, so there are plenty of you don't know who is Vaibhav Chavan, you don't know who is Nikhil Malankar, so I'm going to introduce you to these two amazing legends, and these are very good friend of mine, so let me introduce you to their channel as well. Okay, so let's find Nikhil Malankar. You might know Nikhil Mumbaikar, but this is Nikhil Malankar, my friend, and they have a very interesting video yesterday. Okay, so they have this video right now, and so make sure you popularize this video as well. Share this video with everyone, because as I said, even moving a cube takes a lot of knowledge, and you have to understand a lot of concepts to even make a cube move. Okay, so watch this YouTube channel and watch this video, and this video is all about that how hard it is to make the complete game, or make the complete, what sort of challenges are involved. You have to understand the struggle of these people who are working in these extreme industries and making things possible. In fact, Nikhil Malankar has the alternate of PUBG, and he's a big fan of memes and all those, so he named it SubG. Okay, so he has the whole SubG game, which is very fantastic multiplayer game. You have to check out. It's made from Indian developers, India. So India का नाम रोशन करो भाई, तुम लोग नहीं करोगे तो कौन करेगा? So promote XRDI, promote Nikhil Malankar's channel, help each other, because we are ready to provide you anything you need. Okay, for example, Nikhil is providing a lot of internship. I am providing a lot of internship. Vaibhav similarly, and there are plenty of more creators which you can connect with once you are on the XRDA channel. There are plenty of creators. Kushal is one of them. Okay, so there are plenty of creators who are creating amazing games, amazing things, and there are a lot to learn. You have now understood the very first essential step of understanding how a game engine works. what are the basic principle, how the one single frame is being rendered. Okay, what are the concepts behind that? Now you understood that. So we have covered this, the rendering pipeline, the how the game works, how, what are the materials, what is the texture. Okay, so basically, yeah, follow their struggle, follow their journey. And yeah, tomorrow we are going to cover augmented reality. So we since uh, this scholarship is more about XR and not game, so I have not focused on too much that creating a something which is playable, and I gave you the understanding of simple control, and rest, you, if you still have passion, you can definitely start learning from there. Okay, you can there are plenty of channels which will provide you plenty of tools, but no one is going to provide you such in-depth knowledge of how the mechanism works of things behind these. All right, guys, so yeah, this is it for today's session. And yeah, if you have any questions, so please shoot them, and I'm more than happy to answer all those. Rishabh said, no, sir. Amazing. And it's good to ask a lot of questions. It's good to ask plenty of questions because it shows your thought process and all. I am in loving these webinar. All right. Thanks, Kushal. So Kushal is someone who is already aware of a lot of development knowledge, and he has released some sort of games as well. So he know the struggle and he know how the development cycle works, but he's still loving this. Means we are able to give some insight which is not usually provided on the not usually easily provided, right? So the kind of in-depth you are getting in this series is amazing because we have to figure out years to understand this perspective of rendering engines and this perspective of computational thinking and all those. Okay. Rishabh said, how to learn coding. I think you are coding with us. You wrote your first hello word, and according to me, hello word is the hardest program to write because it also tells you about the process. Otherwise, the setup of the programming language and all those. Once you write the first program, the later part is easy because you can experiment. You can write some line of snippet. The code is called snippet. You can write some line of snippet and see the changes and change your code accordingly. Okay, so the rest is easy. The writing the first program is the hardest thing. Okay, which we have solved right now. So your development journey into the gaming industry is already started. All right, now you can declare yourself a game programmer, but still there is a lot of struggle involved, so a lot of hard work needs to be done. All right, and we are going to help you in every possible way using a community, but you have to help us reaching more and more people because we don't want to help 25 people. Right now there are 21 in the chat. We want to help 21 million people of the country. So help us reaching that goal, and we'll help you the best way possible. We have the best instructor of all over world. If you visit our XRDA channel, you'll see the kind of mentors are there. Okay, amazing. So yeah, I think all right. So somebody says, sir, can we make holographic person bio with audio and visuals? All right, guys. So I'm going to show you something similar. You want to see holographic? Can I show you something? Yeah, for sure. All right. So it's on my channel, and regularly I basically post such content. So you can definitely go there and see. But yeah, in this you'll find definitely a lot of stuff. And see this, look at this. This is very important, so I'm going to show you, and I share information like let's understand the basic principles of business. Okay, so I also teach about business, I also teach about philosophy, I also teach about a lot of things, understanding augmented reality, understanding. So here is a virtual reality set tool, and here is a holographic setup which I want to show. Okay. Let me find the correct video. So it will take a second. All right. ये है मेरा set tour. So we did this podcast with my friend. All right. So I don't know if you. you will get. So this is happening inside virtual reality. Have you seen Kapil Sharma's show? So this is a similar sort of inspirational set which we created on this platform in virtual reality. So this is me sitting in India, and this is my friend Lav Shukla who's sitting in Canada, and we are talking in such a way that it looks like that we are in the same room and we are experiencing this. Okay. And it looks really good. ये थोड़ा सा इधर आ जाओ, ये वाला जंगल का थोड़ा feel देता है. Right. So there are multiple sets. There are 8 to 10 sets which I designed. You can see there is XRDI. So we are taking selfies in the virtual reality. Now we have a similar stage. Let me show this here. Okay. So here is the holographic projection which you called about. All right. So let's. I have recorded the message holographically, and the. So this is recorded in virtual reality. So ये जो third person आपको दिख रहा है, ये virtual, ये एक hologram है. Okay, आप देख रहे हो एक लाइट जैसी निकल रही है इससे. ये virtually recorded है, virtually play हो रहा है. And after the end of this podcast, we also became Iron Man and Captain America, and we had a fight inside there. Okay, so such kind of seminars, such kind of podcasts we did to show you the power of virtual reality. I hope you guys liked it. Please share the link. Please find the link yourself, share to your friends, and don't tell me to share link. Okay, and because I have shared it multiple times, and check the channel, check out the links, and you guys are fantastic. You should share the link with me and with a lot of people on your social handles. Okay, so it's now your job. My job is done. I have showed you the channel. Go on XRDI, go on, make some effort, go on the channel, subscribe that, share that with everyone, because everybody should know that in which direction the future is going, what is the future ahead in front of them, right? So everybody has the right to know that in which direction the technology is going, where we are going. All right. So yeah, and we have to prepare India for this upcoming trend, upcoming technology. It's your job. It's your right responsibility. So amazing, guys, and we had a very great session today, and I hope you guys learned something from this, and we'll see you tomorrow, where we'll build a first augmented reality application which you can see augmented reality in your phones. Okay, so those who have the AR core support will be able to see, and you can also follow along or anything. Okay, because that is yeah, that will be very interesting to see. Okay, so have a great day, guys, and please share the live with on your social handles. Please share information about XRDI, and please share information about all the work we do. Have a great time, guys.